All right, now let's get to Travis Hamonic. Pilsy, he was a much polarized acquisition when the Senators got Travis Hamonic at last season's deadline, not this past, but the year before at the deadline. And they knew that he had a year left on his contract afterwards. They said, look, we don't like the free agent market. We wanted to get a head start on it. It cost us a third-round pick. We didn't have a fourth-round pick, so we gave up a third. Analytics people hated it. I think a lot of people hated it, whether you like numbers or not. But I don't think you can quantify how much of an impact he made in that locker room this season with so much youth on the back end. He was a stabilizer. He played a ton of hockey. He somehow exploded offensively at certain points this season. He was a reliable partner for Jake Sanderson. I think that Sanderson probably could have outgrown it earlier in the year, but they kept it together. I called him one of my guys at the start of the season, and he proved me right. I think this was a very solid season from Travis Hamonic overall.
Yep, absolutely. And for all those people saying, well, like Hamonic and Sanderson was just boosting Hamonic and things like that. The only thing I care about when it comes to that, what does Jake Sanderson think? And he's been asked about it, and he said, it's awesome having a veteran like Hamonic. I love playing with him. We mentioned in yesterday's episode, they were the most consistent pair by a mile. They played 749 minutes together with a Corsi for percentage of 50.77. So with all those minutes, they were able to become a really good pair. And I just think that his time in the top four is over because of the acquisition of Jacob Chychrinen, Jake Sanderson turning into the player he has, Artem Zub re-signing, and that's fine. I think he can be a guy that is a really good seventh defenseman and a good sixth defenseman. And I think you need some veterans on that back end. Like everyone is so young there. I think it's good to have a guy like Hamonic around with playoff experience, lots of games under his belt. And the fans graded him a B season, 61.5%. And I'm right there with the fans. I got him rated at a B, Ross.
I'm really happy to see that because sometimes it's that vocal minority that really just hammer away, no pun intended, on what a player can do. And there are a few. Actually, you know what? This is wild. More fans on Twitter at Sens Central graded Travis Hamonic's season an A, 4.4%, than they did a D at 3%.
Okay.
So I think that tells you what you need to know in terms of the two, like the far top and the far bottom. But 61.5% gave him a B, 31% gave him a C. I'm a B plus. Like I'm almost at an A minus versus expectations where people had him. They thought he was going to be a complete liability out there. Instead, not only was he the best penalty killing defenseman on the team, and let's recall that this Senators team were an elite penalty killing team for the most of the season. I'm pulling up right now exactly where they were at. They finished 14th. I think there were some times where they were up in the top 10 though. And hey, you know what? I bet you that coincided with Travis Hamonic's injury to an extent because the PK just did not look the same for the last 8 games of the season. So he left on March 30th. Okay, we're going to do a little stats together here. He left on March 30th. From March 31st through the end of the season, the Senators' penalty killing was 14th. Okay?
Okay.
Wait, never mind. That makes sense that they're 14th because when I changed from playoffs to regular season, it did just that. The Ottawa, look at this, Pilsy. Don't you love when eye test matches? Don't you love when eye test matches?
Let's hear it.
When Travis Hamonic left the lineup for the last 7 games, the Senators' penalty kill was 31st out of 32 teams in the NHL.
What? Damn.
31st. They killed 64.3%. Only St. Louis had a worse penalty kill than them in the season. Now, when Travis Hamonic was in the lineup, we're looking at a completely different story. With Travis Hamonic in the lineup, the Senators, the 10th best penalty kill in the league. I rest my case.
Boom. There you go. Travis Hamonic.
You could say I threw the hammer down.
Yeah, there you go. And he's the kind of guy that, like that press conference where he talks about coming to Ottawa, he is just glowing. Like this guy wants to be here. I think that's a big part of it too. He can see, like this guy's been on a bunch of different teams. and he knows a good culture when he's in one. And I mean, Bo Horvat would and Hamonic would both say, "Hey, it's a lot better than Vancouver." I'll tell you that for free. But he's able to identify that this group's got something going, and I want to be a part of helping these young guys. And I would love if they could bring him back on a 1-year deal. Obviously lower than his past cap hit, which was what, 3.3, something like that.
Yeah, it was in the 3 million. I think it was $3 million.
Yeah, so obviously below that dollar, but I still think he has value, and I think he's more valuable to this team than he would be anywhere else. So I'm all for bringing back Travis Hamonic.
And I'll just get to these stats before I continue. 75 games for Travis Hamonic, 6 goals, 15 assists for 21 points. That's the most points that Travis Hamonic has had in a season in the last 7 years. The last time he had 21 points was in 2015-16 as a 25-year-old. Now he's 32, still able to put up some points, rebounding after 2 years at 10 points each. It really felt like he was on his way out. He gets a breath of fresh air in Ottawa, and he takes the most of it. His expected goals percentage above 50, 50.7. His Corsi above 50 by 0.1. And he's playing 18:30 per game. And not only is he playing that much per game, Pilsy, but obviously a ton of that came on the penalty kill. When you look at what he brought to the Senators' PK, it truly is remarkable how he and Jake Sanderson, at even strength, they were good, but on the penalty kill, they were remarkable. And I like how they kept them together for the most of it. Travis Hamonic was 7th among all defensemen in the NHL this year in shorthanded time on ice. Jake Sanderson was 3rd, which is also absurd, but he killed more than 3 minutes and 15 seconds per game.
Yeah,
This guy
wow.
needs some respect for that, and I'm glad that
Agreed.
the fans recognized him with a B grade.
Yep, I think that's right where he should be. And Travis Hamonic, I really think that he has a place on this team, not only on the ice but off the ice. So let's bring him back. Let's have another year of the Hammer.
So what are you hoping to see from Hamonic for next year?
Much of the same, and well, I guess I shouldn't say much of the same because he's not going to be in the top 4. I want to see him have that same kind of veteran presence and be able to help Eric Brandstrom play his game the way he was able to help Jake Sanderson play his game. And I think Brandstrom did a great job with a guy like Nick Holden, another veteran, more defensive style defenseman. So I don't see any reason why Eric Brandstrom and Travis Hamonic can't make a good bottom pair.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the sound of that. And then obviously, if you are going to rotate them in and out, maybe against a team where you're not as worried about them beating you on the power play, maybe you do swing out and put in a different player, give another guy a look. But I think overall, there's a lot that he brings off the ice that we're just not privy to. And I think having him around the room in itself is going to be a huge benefit to the other teams because of the next guy we're going to talk about in Nick Holden being on the way out. Like, what a perfect transition to get him into that role. You need a veteran guy on the back end. I truly believe that. And without Hamonic or Holden, is there a 30-year-old on the back end? There's not.
There is not.
There's
There's
not a
not.
28-year-old. Like,
Nope. Artem
Shabbat's
Zub is
gonna be
not
the oldest.
28 yet.
Zub's going to be the oldest guy, and he's probably not the most vocal leader, although his English is getting better.
Let's go, Sens fans.
Yes, Sens fans, woo! But I do think it's crucial to have that voice, and I'm talking myself into saying that this guy needs to be back. Before I wanted it, this guy needs to be back.
I just like who's going to be a better option, and I'm sure there's better options at higher price tags, obviously. But for what the Ottawa Senators need and the cap room they have, and a guy that already fits in, Hammer's the guy.
What would be the cost on a 1-year deal where you'd start to grit your teeth and be like, I don't know.
Can't be more than 2.5.
I was going to say 2. I think anything more than 2. I think a 1-year deal at $2 million, bang, lock it in.
Yeah, I think he might try to up that value at a 1-year deal. If you got him at a 2-year deal, I think he would go down. But I think, I mean, he might have an argument to be around 2.5.
Pilsy seems like a low-key kind of guy, though, right? Travis Hamonic. I don't think he's out there buying Ferraris or anything like that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
He's made $36 million in his career.
decent.
I think for him, fit is most important. And just listen
Agreed.
to how he talks about Ottawa. I
Agreed.
really think that he wants to be here. And I think I'm not saying he's going to take a Mark Giordano league minimum contract to come back, but I really think that money is secondary. And I should be
I
speaking
agree.
for a man who's got a family to take care of, but I think 36.258
You
million,
can take care of a family on that budget. Yeah.
$486 in his career. So funny that you can literally search up like any hockey player and see to the dollar what they made in their career. Hilarious. But shout out Cap Friendly. This show runs through Cap Friendly, Natural Stature,
Big time.
Reference, and our dumb brains.
I've got all those tabs open right now, Ross. So yeah.
How many tabs you got?
Well, I divide it between two. I got a Safari one and Google Chrome. Right now, I got
that
7.
might be even crazier. You use different. Why don't you just open a new window in your preferred browser?
I feel like some websites work better in a certain browser, and also it's just the way my brain works. I've set it up this way. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, maybe that is a weird thing. Well, let us know in the replies if that's a weird thing or having a million tabs on one is weird. I got 7 on Google Chrome right now and 7 on Safari.
I don't even know what he's thinking. He's just a complete brickhead. He's got nothing up there. Bad guy, bad player, but what a joke he is.
Yeah, fair.
2 different internets up. That's great. Well, Travis Hamonic, great guy, great story. And I just love the way that he's come in here and really adopted the city of Ottawa. I hope he's back. 1 year, $1.8 million is what I'm calling for his contract. And I would love to see that happen next season.